Hey guys, so I just wanted to talk about Japan's permanent residence and visa status updates as of 2026. There's a lot of talk right now on X and other social media platforms about the new PR requirements that are potentially coming into effect later this year. So I just wanted to put my thoughts on it now that I'm living here in Japan. I'm coming up on 6 months, so I'm fairly new to the scene, but it's just as important to me as it is everyone else living here or trying to live here long term, and that's why I want to talk about it. So just a disclaimer before I get into everything, this video just separates current official rules from reported planned changes. There's quite a bit of talk from different news outlets about changes that they're potentially going to make or not make, or how they're going to classify income XYZ. So I just wanted to make that clear that there are reported plan changes and current official rules. So the stricter income, pension, language, and spouse rules are not yet published, and they're not official guidelines as of now. And always make sure to verify on the Immigration Services Agency website before applying for PR yourself. But let's get into it. So the current official rules sourced from the ISA guidelines revised 24 February 2026. You got three core requirements. Okay. We have good conduct, we have independent livelihood, and then we have the best interests of Japan. Okay, those are the three core requirements of the current PR. That breaks into make sure you're following Japanese law, no socially reprehensible behavior, obvious things, right? Independent livelihood, as we'll see currently, you have to have assets or skills sufficient to live without becoming a public burden, no fixed legal income number. Past practice was about 3 million yen a year for a single person. It wasn't really established officially, but like if you are making less than 3 million yen a year, you are more likely to not be accepted. And then spouses or children of Japanese nationals are exempt. Okay, that's how it is now. And then best interest of Japan, what that means is normally 10 continuous years of living in Japan, of which those 10 years, at least 5 of the years were on a work visa or resident status. That got a little tricky because, as everyone knows, if you were to switch jobs within this 10 years, you may or may not be accepted because they wanted to see 5 continuous years at the same job along those lines. People have different ideas and have had different experiences with this, so maybe it's not official per se, but depending on who you apply with and where you apply, it could potentially change. Proper payment of taxes, pension, and health insurance, as we'll see about the new rules, right? This is even more important now. And you need to be currently holding the longest available period of stay, usually a 5-year visa, but everyone knows that it's actually a 3-year visa is what they consider the longest available period of stay. Transitional rule, until 31 March 2027, a 3-year period of stay is still treated as the longest period, right? That's what I just talked about. That's why I wanted to mention it. If you were thinking about special faster routes as of right now, right, that are still valid, we have the spouse of a Japanese national, right, permanent resident. So that's 3 years of marriage plus 1 year in Japan. Highly skilled professional, which is 70 plus points. And the point system is a whole different video altogether. So make sure you go look at the Ministry of Justice's website if you're actually curious about the point system. And then you can get PR in 1 year if you have 80 plus points. Long-term residence, 5 years, and then recognized refugee 5 years after recognition. Now let's look into the plan changes, which is what everyone is talking about and actually interested in. So reported July 2026, the expected guideline revision is going to be around 1 October 2026, and the main application impact is expected from April of 2027. The standards being discussed, right? So we'll dive into these things here. We have income, pension, language and integration, and spouse route. All right. So for income, you need a continuous household income above the average for Japanese households of the same size as you. So the latest official average was about 5.75 million yen. Now, this could change because the reported or being discussed option, right, is above average. And as we know, averages tend to change as income dips and rises, but it'll roughly be around an area. And if we look at the same size, that means, single household will be single income average, and if it's like a family of 3 or 4, then you'll have to be on average around the same as that. Pension, projected benefits equivalent to 30 years of employees' pension, the Kosei Nenkin, right? Shortfalls can be covered by personal assets, and that is a key thing I wanted to mark on and touch on, because let's say everyone has been talking about, I've seen, I don't have projected benefits equivalent to 30 years of pension pay, but you can cover that shortfall with your personal assets and savings, because they just want to make sure you're not going to be a burden on the system. Language and integration is a big one, because Japanese language ability is now going to be required for PR, right? So you need to be an independent user, quote unquote. And as we don't know what exactly that means, many people are actually thinking it's going to be around the N2 level, could be N3, who knows, but I'm assuming N2, right? Because independent user, you need to be able to fully support yourself. You need to also have an understanding of Japanese society rules and customs. What that means exactly, I'm not 100% sure. There could be an interview of some kind where they question you about different rules and society customs, XYZ. I have no idea. That's just a guess on my part, but they did mention that. And then failure to enroll your children actually into school is going to be viewed negatively. So you could actually be denied PR with failure to enroll your children into school. And then the spouse route, right? So the expected rise of 5 years of marriage plus 3 years residency. You need to have 5 years of marriage and 3 years of residency already established. Let's look at fees. That's a really big one too that they've been talking about. So we have the permanent residency, right? The current fee is 10,000 yen. It's now going to be 200,000 yen, a big boost to that fee. Then status change or extension of the 5 years plus, that's currently 6,000. We're looking at 75,000 yen. And then we have the extension of a 1 year, and that's going from 6,000 to 33,000 about yen. So big increase in the fees of reapplying or applying for these residency statuses. As we saw already, entry visas already increased the 1st of July 2026. Single entry went to 15,000 yen and multiple entry went to 30,000 yen. So I just want to put some context and some takeaways that I got from this. I'm mainly just talking about the facts here. I don't want to go into any like speculation per se or what could or should or shouldn't be, right? I'm just talking about what we know and what has been reported. Permanent residents, with people with PR, we're sitting around 947,000 people. Foreign residents in total, we're having a record high of 4 million, right? So there's 4 million gaijin in Japan. Policy direction, right? They're ensuring long-term residents are financially stable and integrated in society. That's a big part of this whole thing. Integration and financial stability. You're not going to be a burden on the system. You actually can speak the language, you know the rules and the customs, and you're not going to be a bother. Okay, that's like the 3 major big things that they want. Some practical takeaways. If you already meet the current rules before these changes, maybe think about applying before the new guidelines fully take effect. It'll just be a little bit more advantageous for you. The 3-year visa transitional window ends the 31st of March, 2027. Okay, so make sure you're aware of this date. What already matters heavily, right? So you need to have a clean tax record, pension payment record, health insurance record. You need to be holding a long-term visa if you want to apply, and then you need to have stable employment and income history. And history is a big one. If you can't prove it, it didn't happen. What will matter more soon, okay, so income relative to the Japanese household average. That's going to be a big thing. Long-term pension contributions or equivalent assets, that's going to be a big thing. And then Japanese language ability plus the basic knowledge of how society operates. 3 big things coming to PR requirements and visa requirements. That's just what we know now. Okay, here are my sources of where I got these from. Yet again, disclaimer, always check and cross-check off of the official ISA website for the latest published guidelines. Whenever you watch this video, it could be completely outdated. I'm making this video as of August 3rd, 2026. Okay, so that's what we have so far. I'm looking forward to see what the news brings and what they actually decide to do with this. But we all know that visa requirements are getting stricter and they will get stricter. It's not going to not happen. Okay, so it's definitely going to happen. We just don't know how strict yet. So I appreciate you guys for watching. If you need any more information or you're interested, give me a follow. I'll continue to talk about the news as it comes out. Thanks.